Hey guys, how you doing? GiJoe here. Welcome back to the bunker. Uh, Nothing super exciting. I'm just videos called just hang time with GiJoe. I'm actually doing a little work down here in the basement, getting ready for the bloodbath tournament coming up here next weekend, and doing a little work. Just thought I'd pop on to see if anybody's out there in virtual land. See if they wanted to pop in. We could chat, talk some BBR, and I probably won't even post this video, or I'll probably delete it. I don't know what I'll do. But if anybody pops on, we can chat. And if not, I'll go off. Hey guys, I saw three people just pop on. Welcome. I'm just doing a little bit of BB prep here for the tournament. Working on some midway stuff. I'd pop on here, just kind of hang with some folks in YouTube virtual land. See if you want to talk some BBR questions. We've got a tournament coming up this weekend here in Atlanta. The BB5 tournament. Should be pretty exciting. A lot of great guys coming. Hello, Commander. Hey, Ironside. What's up? Man, can't wait to see you guys. You got all your accommodations, everything set for this weekend. Just kind of doing a little work in the basement, like I said, and just hanging out. I'd see if anybody was in virtual land. So what I'm doing right now, you can't see. I guess you can't see, but if you've seen in my midway videos, you know that I've been working on my numbering system. So this is actually going to be a prize, a giveaway. And I've got one set of midway planes. Sweet. I've got a US set with a fighter a fighter, dive bomber, and a torpedo bomber. I'm going to give away the US set. And then I've got the Japanese set over here. Let me pull this into view. Here's the Japanese set I'm going to be giving away. Hey, Sky Marshall. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, doing a little bit of work. Pop on, see if anybody's in virtual land, want to talk some ANA, BBR, or whatever. But this is the Japanese set I'm going to give away for the midway. So I'm giving away a Japanese set and then a US set for the midway game would be a prize. And what I'm going to do is, this was Gelso or Moffett Field, War Table, whatever he's calling himself nowadays. He said, hey, you're going to give that away. Why not give the chips away? So basically what I'm doing, if you've seen my videos on how I'm numbering the chips to midway, I'm numbering them based upon the carriers. So like, for instance, let me go back here. The Japanese had a numbering system. The Akagi and the Kaga were in the first division carriers. So, there's Pagan. So A1, Roman numeral 1 was the Akagi. A, Roman numeral 2 was the Kaga. So on the tails of the planes, or around the fuselage, so like the very, very back part of the fuselage right before the tail, they'd have one red stripe. That meant the Akagi. And one, if they had two red stripes, it was the Kaga. That's how they knew. So, but this is the way that they named their planes or numbered their planes. Thanks, Ironside. So this is how they numbered their planes. This was A1, so the Kaga, and then 104. The first number was either a 1, 2, or 3. If it was a 1, it was a fighter. 2, it was a dive bomber. 3, it was a torpedo bomber. And then the last two digits were the plane number. So this is fighter 4. The 1 is for a fighter, and the 4 means fighter number 4. But the tail number was 104. So on the actual tail, you would see A1 104, because that meant the Kaga fighter number 4. So all that to say, I've got all my chips labeled like that so that you know that all the A1 chips go to the Kaga, or Akagi rather. And then on the back, just for, you don't have to have this, but on the back, just like that's a torpedo number 2. So 3 means torpedo. All that to say, I'm going to number up the chips here So I'm going to give away one set of planes, and these are going to be the VF3 was on the Yorktown, and they actually had white numbers on their fuselages. So this is to resemble the Yorktown. So VF3, and they had VF5 on there as well. But from the Hornet, no, not the Hornet, the Saratoga. And so I'm also putting plane numbers on the back. And I did some research, and there are actual plane numbers that were actually in the battle. So like plane 16, plane 6, 23, 24, the thatch weave, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's what I'm doing for the giveaway. So that's why I just popped on. So let's see what's up. So I know Pagan's going to be there. I know Ironside's going to be there. Thanks. Yeah, the table's looking good. I haven't finished a couple things. I want to actually, the same blue that you see right here, I want to paint underneath here. You can see that it's not painted yet, but I'm going to paint the bottom of it blue so that when you fold the table up, you still see the blue on the bottom side. And I'm going to stencil on the American roundel. It'll be on here and on here. So the theory is it'll kind of look like wings that are folded up, and you see the roundel on the wings. So that's kind of the idea on the table, but that won't be done before the tournament. Oh, let me show you my carrier decks. So these carrier decks were wood, and I had them carved out. Thanks, Pagan. These are the actual silhouettes of the different carriers, and I had them cut out laser, and I just painted them black and glued them in here with the intent being, one, the black matches the table, right? But then also, those like the little silhouettes that pilots would study so that when they were flying over ocean, they could try to recognize the different ships based on the silhouettes, and all those silhouettes were always black. So I thought, that'd be kind of a little homage to that. So yeah, and the Soryu and the Hiryu were in carrier group B, and they had blue stripes on their plane. So one blue stripe would be the Soryu, two blue stripes would be Hiryu. And the Zuiho was in carrier division C. They had two white stripes, I think. So anyways, so we got the tournament. Oh, one thing I'll say is I'm going over to Sarge tomorrow. I got to take my tables over there because he needs 2 more tables because he has 4 and I have 2, so that'll be the 6 tables. And when we go over there, we're going to do a live video. We're going to do the drawing for the tournament to see what the matchups are for day 1. So, yeah, sorry for boring. Yeah, aren't those pretty sweet? Yeah, what it is, Pagan, it was the same guy that did my boxes. We were in the conversation of him and I talking about what I wanted for the different boxes and the different types of lids. He made the comment something like, yeah, I can pretty much do anything with a laser. So like these boxes here that he did laser cut, and I painted them up. He said, yeah, I can pretty much do anything. And then I just got to thinking, and I said, yeah, right, live, Pagan, funny. But I said, hey, can you do the carrier decks? Because I was trying to figure out what to do in here. And before it was just a piece of wood, and I thought, it can't just be blank wood. So that's that. Oh, I guess speaking of laser cut, so these are some of the boxes I had him laser cut, and I painted them up. These are going to be giveaways. Myself and Jeremy Triple Crown went in and bought some of these. So this will be giveaways. There's a nice Japanese box. That'll be a giveaway. Here'll be a giveaway. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? And then here is the Russia one. Kind of sweet. And then one of my faves is the Commonwealth. Isn't that pretty dope? So yeah, those are going to be giveaways at the tournament. So that'll be kind of cool. And well, I got a few more over here that I have of my own, which I don't know. You guys, if you've seen my videos, you've already seen those. I'm not going to bore you with it. So as a cavalry scout, we study so. Yes, very cool. Yeah, Ironside. There's so many potential exciting matchups. Can't wait, man. There's a lot of great teams, and you know, earlier on when the tournaments were kind of first happening, I think there was a core group of guys that really knew BBR, and they might have had an advantage because a lot of other people hadn't had much experience with BBR. But now, all these guys that are coming out to the tournaments, man, they've all kind of adopted BBR and learned the rules, and every year it gets tougher and tougher to play. So I think it's going to be a very competitive tournament. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I wish I could say I made them. All I did was paint them. So um, that's more on guy So High Design up in Washington. I think Moffett Field, Gelso hit me to him. He's a really great guy. And I've got some cards. I've actually done some videos, so you can go and watch them if you want. But um, I've got some cards, some business cards of his I'll have at the tournament if anybody's interested in ordering some boxes and such. But he's a really good guy. All right, let's see here. So Ironsides, who are you grouping up with? Are you still there? I don't know. See, 4 people. Like I said, this isn't exactly exciting. I'm just kind of doing some work and hanging. If anybody wants to hang, they're welcome to hang. Ask questions, comments, shoot the breeze, what have you. It's almost like being there in real person. Oh, nice. I haven't met Tav Man. Is it Tam Van? Sorry, I keep saying Tav Man like when I talk to other people, but Tam Van. All right, cool. Yeah, I know he was at St. Louis. He was the guy dressed up like MacArthur, right? Pretty sweet. I don't know, I won't do this because it's probably gonna be too hot. I thought about wearing my paratrooper. I don't have the pants, but I have the M42 paratrooper jacket that they used when they jumped into Normandy. Got a Screaming Eagle patch on it, so I thought about wearing that the day I play Allies, but it's gonna be too hot. Actually, I think I wore it on the video back in the summer before I went to Normandy. All right, get a couple little. I'm doing the torpedo. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Only I don't have the pants, so it'd just be me in a jacket, and I don't have like a helmet or anything. I know he kind of has the corncob pipe, and just from what I remember. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll bring it. See if I can strike some fear and intimidation into our opponents wearing the paratrooper jacket. Yeah, I don't want to see VK in any type of crazy naked Finland outfit. No, thank you. No, no, no. I think I have to make another VT3 sticker. All right, hey Matt. What's up, Matt? Matt Todd in the house. Matt, you gonna be Matt Todd and anybody in the tournament this year? All the way from Utah? Can you Matt Todd somebody from long distance? If anybody can, it's Matt Todd. And if you don't know what being Matt Todded means, that phrase was got its genesis from a YouTube game where Matt would go in with like unrealistic odds and end up like, I don't know, like a 13% odds of winning. Like, and Matt would be like, I don't know, hey, at least I need to try it, right? Got nothing else I can do, so might as well take a shot. And then he'd like win, roll dice. It would be awesome. He'd roll awesome dice for himself. All on the up and up, of course. Matt's a stand-up guy. But and then he'd roll the defense, and it'd be like all blanks or something like that. And we'd just laugh. It would be hilarious. So it was like a combination of Matt Todd rolling for offense and VK rolling for defense. It was essentially that. And if anybody's ever seen VK roll, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen VK roll in person, that is a sight to see for sure. You think it's all hype and folklore and legend, and then you see him roll in person and realize it's absolute truth. So Pagan, I guess you and Wildcat and Lieutenant Dan are still doing your Pa'ugal Kaji team, I guess. Is that right? All right, Ironsides, take care. Yeah, man. We'll see you on the live video tomorrow for the draw, and can't wait to see you this weekend, man. Hope you have a great week. All right. Oh, and Matt, I still haven't gotten my cards yet. I only got ordered one set, which is just for me. It's not for the tournament. Sire already has the ones he needs for the tournament. But I know that's not coming from you, but it's crazy. I ordered mine a week before Sire, and he got his a couple days ago. But he did pay the expedited shipping cost, you know. But I ordered mine coming up on a month ago. I really don't know, Pagan, the time. I get home from work about 4:40 Eastern Standard Time, and then I got to load up my car with the tables and stuff. I'll probably be able to leave by 5 or 5:15. It's about a 20-minute drive over there. I'd say sometime between 5:30 and 6 Eastern. Pa'ugal Kaji. No, it is Pa'ugal Kaji. You will forever be known as Pa'ugal Kaji. And if you guys are trying to figure out what in the heck is Pa'ugal Kaji, Pagan just typed it on the screen. He had that big long name and text on there. What was that, 2 tournaments ago? Is that right? Yeah, I think it was just you and Dan the first time. You brought Wildcat on last year, if I'm not mistaken. And when I saw that, I saw all the letters, and I came up with an acronym. So, to his dismay, I might add, he keeps insisting on me rattling out that big, long bunch of communist mess. No way. This is America. So yeah, I'm working on VB3 now. These are the dive bombers. They'll sit on that ship. VB3, that was on the Yorktown. I think this is actually the flight that was pretty much decimated. No, or maybe they're the ones that took the wrong heading, and a lot of them returned because they couldn't find the fleet. Maybe that was it. I can't remember. That was VB. But that was the 3rd flight group or the 5th. I can't remember exactly. I have to go back and read my history book. Once I get all the, you can even see what I'm doing here. Once I get all the VBs on there, flip over and put the numbers on the back, and then do the Japanese ones. It's exciting. So Pagan, what time do you get in? You come in Thursday or Friday? It was kind of crazy to think that this bloodbath thing is in its fifth year. And I'm so grateful, man. This community is just fantastic. There's just a bunch of great guys, giving guys, And I remember, to give you my own little personal story, if you care to be bored. I Back in 2017, I had Global. I bought. Okay, cool. I bought Global back in 2009 or 10, whenever, and didn't know anybody down here to play it, so I got it out, tried to make sense of the political situation, and didn't really understand it, to be honest with you. I learn best by people showing me, so couldn't find anybody to play with, so I kind of put it back in the closet, and then I just kind of forgot about it. I'd go back to St. Louis, visit some friends, and if we ever played, they wanted to play revised, and I kept saying, "Hey man, let's try the Global." "No, it takes too long, man. Let's just play this." So I never got to play it. Well, then one day I just kind of said, "You know what? I wonder if there's any YouTube videos about Axis and Allies," and I did that, and boom, I came across Young Grasshopper's channel, and then I got hooked. And he's doing all of his videos on strategy and this, that, and the other, and the political situations. And he was really instrumental in helping me understand, or at least begin to understand, some of the political situations. And from there, of course, I got started watching General Hand Grenade's videos and Cyberblood's videos. Well, if you remember, back in 17, Young Grasshopper had a tournament up in there in Toronto, Cliffside, and I wanted to go. It just happened to fall on my week off at the end of September, and I said, I kind of want to go to this. My wife was cool. She was like, "You should go. You should go. You should go." And I was about to do it, and I thought, I haven't even really played Global, and this is not even Global. This is Global with house rules. Even though I had a lot of Axis and Allies experience in the past, I didn't know Global that well. I was like, man, if I go up there and somebody gets stuck with me and I cause them to lose, they're probably going to be ticked off, spend all this money and get stuck with me. So I didn't go. And then when I saw the video and was watching the live stuff, I instantly regretted it. And then when Cyberblood came out and said that he had a tournament, when Cyberblood came out not long after that, said he was going to have a tournament in 18, I said, I'm not missing this opportunity. I'm going. And so I went to play. And I remember I got to know, in the meantime, I got to know Young Grasshopper through YouTube. We talked on the phone a couple of times, and he invited me to play a YouTube game with him and War Torn, some other guys. And I got to know War Torn. Well, War Torn up there in Canada, he said, "Hey, I'm going to be going to Bloodbath 1. Do you want to be my teammate?" I was like, "Absolutely." So we went. We got slaughtered because, again, I didn't know what I was doing. And again, I knew how to play Axis and Allies, but I knew how to play the older games, and I had no. But anyways, got to meet all these great guys. Actually, Matt, I think you were there the first year, Matt, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the first or second year. Maybe it was both. But I remember meeting you there. That's the first time I met you. And just got to meet all these great guys, Corpo and VK and Hambone. And actually, I didn't get to know Hambone that much during the first BB tournament, but I got to know these other guys, and I got to know Hambone, I think, through VK. And and then just started to forge friendships, and then went out the second year, and then just the rest is history, And then here we are. Okay, BB2, yeah. So Grasshopper, I know for many of us, like Matt just said, Young Grasshopper was so instrumental in influencing so many people in the community. And he's done so much for the community, even though he's not kind of into BBR, but he did come out to BB2. So it was great to meet Grasshopper in person. But he's not, BBR is not his thing. It's not his forte, and that's, hey, I think that's fine. There's enough space in our community to have a lot of different things, and he had his his own house rule set, which was great, is great, I should say. And the thing that interests me the most that what he had done was his anniversary edition. And like we were playtesting that, it was anniversary game with like a Global 40 setup or a modified setup. And to me, that was very interesting. Lots of pieces, lots of big battles right off the bat, and so it's cool to. He's been a huge contributor to the community. I think his bread and butter, that's where I was going, has been for me. He's very good at teaching, and so even the beginning aspects of the game and the rules and strategies, he's very detailed and particular. So that was very, very helpful to me when I was learning the game. So I owe a lot to him. So shout out to you, Grasshopper, out in YouTube land. Hope you're doing well. Shoot. Oh, there it is. So I know these stickers kind of have a glare on them, but I'm going to put some matte varnish on it, and it kind of takes the glitter down a little bit and protects the paint and stuff. But that's kind of like a snooze fest. You've got these few little minor projects to do, and if I don't do a little bit of them every night, I've been working like this for like the last month, between painting and sanding those boxes. Jeremy bought a couple big boxes like here, and I had to do some work for him on those. Those are the same ones, kind of like a Moffett Field got, Gelso. This big Germany one, those are pretty sweet. But yeah, that's that guy that did the laser cutting. He's the real deal. So speaking of this midway stuff, once we get done with this BB5 tournament here next week, at some point, Sired and I are going to start doing a little video series where we're going to try different games out on the internet. We're going to play them and kind of play them and review them and kind of show you like, okay, here are the components. This is what's going on. What did I just do? I just messed up. Oh, shoot. I put the wrong. This one I have to go pay attention. Okay, I know this is like Uber. This is the torpedo sticker. I have to print off another 2. I put the torpedo plane number on a bomber. It should be a fighter. Yep. Here's that. So there's 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, there we go. So, anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna take this table over to Sired's. We're gonna bust it out. We're gonna play it. We're gonna do a review on it. Let you know, hey, here's what we like about it, or whatever. Let you know what the gameplay is like and that kind of stuff. But we'll be doing it to a lot of different games. And incidentally, I'm going to be bringing this game. The reason I'm trying to get this done is I'm taking this game to the tournament on Monday, on Medal Round Day. That way, guys show up that maybe aren't playing in a Medal Day. They want to hang out, play a game that lasts a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. They can maybe play this midway game if they want to. I'm trying to make it as an epic experience as possible. So I got all my Japanese planes painted and decaled. Well, decaled for at least the tournament. And what I did was I only decaled the top it's just taking too much time, and I don't have enough time to complete it. But I've only decaled the top of the wings, right? They still look really, really good. I decaled the top of the wings just for the tournament. But eventually, I'm going to do like this. This is what I did originally when I was testing it. After the tournament, I'll add decals on the sides like this and then underneath it. I know you won't be able to see underneath it unless the pieces are laying in the box, but me being the historian that I am, I just want things to be as realistic as possible. So I'm going to decal on the bottom. It just won't be until after the tournament, but at least you can see the coolness of seeing the decals rather than just a bunch of gray planes. I think that would be kind of lame, and I just want this to be a pretty sweet gaming experience for anybody who tries that. So as you can see, I still need to decal all my US planes essentially. So I'll hit that maybe tomorrow night and Tuesday night. Oh man. Okay, so I need what? I did something wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't even do enough chips. How did I count that wrong? So you can see the Yorktown. Yep, Yorktown gets 4 fighters, 2 torpedoes, and 6. So I'm 1 chip short. I'm 1 chip short of the Yorktown torpedoes. The dive bomber's done. And I didn't even print the label for the, maybe I didn't print the label for the second torpedo because I didn't see a chip for the second torpedo. All right. Oh well. So I got the Americans done except for 1 more torpedo chip. Now we'll do the Japanese. Now I'll show you what I did with the Japanese is since I'm here, let me put this a little bit lower. There we go. That's better. So I'm gonna I'm originally I was just gonna do the 3 planes like this, you know, the fighter, the dive bomber, and the torpedo bomber. Oh, and incidentally, I am putting side decals on the giveaway ones. You know, I had enough time to do a couple planes, so I did put the side decals on the giveaways. I just haven't done it on the ones that are going to be played on Midway on Friday for anybody who wants to play. But I originally was going to do this, and I was like, you know what? This green is just so sweet. I got to give one away. So I did 1 for that. And so for my chips, I've got 3 chips. I've got chips for each gray fighter, right? And then these are the numbers. And by the way, this is to the Midway opening set. So like, if you look at the setup card, you'll see that on the Akagi, I think there are 4 fighter chips for the Akagi, 3 dive bomber chips, and 3 torpedo chips, right? So like your fighter would sit on that, your dive bomber here, and your dive bomber there, torpedo bomber. And so I thought, well, until I painted the chips green for the green one, in case the person wants to pick the green. And what I did with the numbering system, as you can see, I did all my A1s for the Akagi, and then I did my 4 fighters. So that's fighter 1, fighter 2, fighter 3, fighter 4. Then my 3 dive bombers. The 2 is a dive bomber 1, dive bomber 2, dive bomber 3, and then the 3 is for the torpedo bomber. Torpedo bomber 1, torpedo bomber 2, torpedo bomber 3. Well then, for the green, I decided to continue that. So I left off, since they're torpedo bombers. Oh no, I got to change that. Okay, I'm glad I saw this. I got to change that. This is a dive bomber, which should be a 2. And here I put a 3. So I'm going to change. I had to print off another set of these, not a big deal. And these are the dive bomber numbers. It starts with a 2. So I'll do 204. 204, 205, 206. I didn't even get the numbers right. I'm an idiot. So 204, 205, 206. That way, none of the planes are numbered the same. So you could technically mix up some of these chip dive bombers with some of those chip dive bombers, and they'll all be different plane numbers. Kind of geeky, I get it. Not necessarily, not needed at all for the midway game. It's just a way to geek out while you're playing it. Man, so I got to fix that. I'm glad I saw that. I'll print that off later. So let's do the Japanese fighters. All right. So yeah, folks are still here. I guess I'm not boring them too much. Yep, isn't that the truth, Pagan? We've had some great weather here over the last week or two. It's been like high 70s, 82, but unfortunately, it looks like we're having a warmer weather hit us this week, up close to around 90. But I think it might drop down to 83 or 84, highs of 83 or 84 by the weekend. I'm hoping. So, I'd hate to have a miserable experience at the tournament. Sarg will have air conditioning in his basement. We have little portable ones. But, you know, when you get 30 bodies at 98.6 in the room, things might get a little balmy, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I think the 90s are going to be gone, though, by the weekend, just this week. Is that? If you've been to Atlanta, you know that it can be hot here in the summer, and really the only bad months are like July and August. And this summer wasn't too bad, but the big thing is the humidity. I mean, you know it's bad when you go and sit in the shade and you still sweat like crazy just because the air is just thick. That's when you know it's bad. It's not even worth being outside, you know, for me at least. All right, we got some A1s. Steak sauce. Yeah, it was really interesting when I was doing a little bit of research when I was trying to figure out how I was going to. I knew I didn't want the colored chips, right? If you have the Midway game, you see that they have purple and orange and brown, and I get it why they did that, right? I mean, you have to have some type of designation to know what chips go with what carrier. That's very important. So they had all these colors, and being the route I was going, I just didn't want all those colors there. So I had to figure out a way to do it. And honestly, this may not even, this may cause a little bit of confusion in the game. But I will say the planes don't matter. Like the plane numbers on the back, let's take it right. The plane numbers on the back don't matter. So as long as you know, like if you just want to use blue chips, you can just use blue chips and just see that VB3, anything that has a 3 on it is Yorktown. And like the Akagi, the back, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you put a 2 underneath the fighter, who cares? The main thing is that you just know that all the A1s go to the Akagi. So, I mean, you don't have to get as detailed as I'm getting. If you're playing, you just make sure that all the Akagi planes have A1s on the chips, and you just keep all the A1s together and bring them back to the Akagi. So you don't necessarily have to keep you don't have to keep a dive bomber chip underneath the dive bomber skull. That's just for us geeks. But you do have to keep the Akagi. Oh, there's my other chip right there. But I need to print off a sticker for it. But you do have to print off the I mean, you do have to keep your carrier chips all separate. Not that you can't combine them into a flight, but when you go back to the carrier, they have to know where to go to, right? They have to land on their carrier, unless their carrier's damaged or something. Not that I'm an expert at Midway by any means. Joe still keeps making fun of me. I'm doing all these customizations and haven't played much, which is true. I'm not lying. But I will say this, when I played the game for the first time, Hambone and the son Parker showed it to me. I liked it enough to where I went out and bought it. Actually, I think I may have ordered it right then online that day. So in that regards, it was kind of like the first time I played Classic Axis and Allies, which is a whole nother creepy story. Yeah, I liked it so much that I just bought it that same day. And I was a teenager, saw Axis and Allies, played it. I was like, this is the most epic game ever. Went and bought it. Mom, take me to the hobby shop. She did, bought the game. Actually, it was probably my dad. But so yeah, the creepy thing about Axis and Allies, I'm like, 14 years old, living in St. Louis. And a friend of mine down the street says, hey man, you like World War II? Oh yeah, man, I like World War II. You want to go play this World War II game? And I'd been playing Risk at the time. You know, we all know this story. I was like, he says, like Risk, only has all the World War II sculpts. I'm like, oh man, that sounds fun. So me and him, he was like a year older than me, so he's probably 15, I'm 14. We walked down the street to this guy, probably in his 30s, I guess. And so we're playing Axis and Allies. And everything was on the up and up, of course, but when I tell the story and think about it, I'm like 13 or 14 or 15-year-old walking to a guy's house at 30 years old. It just sounds kind of creepy. And, whatever. But thankfully it wasn't creepy. It just sounds creepy. And everybody's thinking, this is way too much information. Right. Doing the dive bombers. Now, the only thing I wish I would have done, but I'm not so sure I had the knowledge or the how-to knowledge, is it would have been cool to magnetize all these chips. I am going to magnetize the bottom of the planes. That way, if I want to use my cool war-torn flight stands, I can. Or if I ever want to use these planes in Axis and Allies BBR games, I can. So I am going to magnetize the planes, but kind of wish I would have magnetized the chips and all that. That way you just pick up the plane and the stack of chips move with it. That would be kind of like Lieutenant Dan did. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, Matt, it was a different time. Yeah, there's no way. Well, you know what? Going along that theme, I mean, I think about growing up as a kid. Man, we would leave. Of course, well, whatever. I'm going to go there, but I would, I'd leave the house in the summer. We'd ride our bikes all over the area. We weren't just down the street. We were all over the subdivision, crossing the road, different subdivisions, crossing 4 lanes of traffic to go over to the ice cream stand, driving down Jefferson Barracks, going down to the Mississippi River. I mean, my mom had no clue where we were. And the thought of my daughter just walking out of the house and playing, and being like, all right, come back for dinner. I mean, like, there's just no way. And I know part of it is it might be different with girls than guys, just because of the sickos out there. But um, I don't, yeah, if she's ever outside playing, we kind of sit on the front porch, I don't know, maybe we're helicopter parents, I don't know. Or at least where we can see her out the window. There's just sad to say, you just can't, it's just a different world. It's a different world. Or I'll take her to the park and sit at the park or play with her, do the swing. Actually, I just bought a basketball goal for her. I was at Costco today, and it's such a great deal. It's one of those 7 to 10 feet adjustable ones. Has wheels on it. You can roll it around, so I can put it away in my garage if I want. And yeah, bought that so we can go outside and play fun, play basketball. Not that I'm any good at it. I'm pretty terrible, but we like to. She played a horse, and we were in St. Louis for the holidays, and we played a horse at a friend's house, and she loved it. And so I thought, it'd be kind of cool to one day have a basketball net, but didn't want to do the thing like my next door neighbor going up there, where he bought the kind you dig a hole in the ground, pour cement in, and it's there forever. Yeah, on that earlier topic, I told my mom a while back that you had no idea. She was, oh, I knew where you were. No, you thought you knew where we were. Because I said, hey, I'm going down to Kevin's. And, which was true. We went down to Kevin's. And then I wouldn't say we had ill intent or purposely deceived, may have, may not have. But, you get around your kids and your friends down there and you're playing, and all of a sudden you get bored and like, hey, you want to go do this? Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's go. And then next thing you know, you're crossing 4 lanes of traffic on a bicycle and down to the Mississippi River. And then your mom thinks you're down at Kevin's. Also, what I've noticed this year, I was actually talking with my mom about this. When we were kids growing up, kids are different, man. I mean, they're in some ways they're smarter. They're exposed to more, the information age. They're exposed to so much more information than maybe I was. But when I was a kid, I mean, I got to be a teenager, and I'm mowing grass, and I'm out making money, and if we got a snowstorm, man, that's an opportunity. And I'd hit out there with a friend of mine, and we'd knock on all these old people's doors. Hey, can we shovel your driveway for you? Make $10. And they're like, I just don't see kids outside playing and doing much anymore. I guess we're all inside programming BBR programs, bloodbath gaming programs. Little jab there at Pagan. Just messing with you, man. And to that effect, Pagan, I don't know if I told you the story or not, but I assuming Pagan's still there. Um, I got to my senior year in high school, and I took I wanted to take my dad was in electronics and computers and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this elective, this computer programming. It was COBOL. And so I thought I'm going to try this. Now, I'm going to preface this with the fact of this is somebody whose forte was not mathematics. But I thought, I don't know, because my dad was in it, and maybe I wanted to kind of be like him and whatever. So I took this COBOL programming class, and it was taught by the math department head at our high school. And he was such a great teacher. And it just really, really interested me. So much that when we got to our senior, like these little projects were simple, and the homework were simple. And if I ever did get a minor hang up, my dad was like, oh, no, just do this. Put a colon right there between these two, this, and that does that, or whatever. I can't even remember how things were. But so we got to the senior project, and we had to do something with graphics. Now, mind you, that's graphics in DOS. And everybody, I mean, literally everybody in the class picked the Pong project, where you make the two little sliders that go up and down, and you have the ball going back and forth, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, that's boring. And I loved Axis and Allies in it at times. I said, so I want to do Axis. No, maybe it was Risk. No, it was Risk. And yeah, it was Risk. And so, with the help of my dad, admittedly, I got it to where um, I got it to where you sign on. You had a list of countries, and then you hit a button. It randomly you type in how many players there are. It randomly distributes the countries to however many of those players are, and then it automatically put one unit in every country, and then you had X amount of units left, and then you could say, like if I was player one, I could say, okay, I want one more army in Eastern Europe. I want one more army in whatever, Italy. I can't remember what the countries were back then. And you do that, and then once you get it set, if I was player one, you'd say, okay, I want to attack with, and you'd say which nation, and I'd pick Germany. And when I picked Germany, it would list the countries that were adjacent to it that I could attack, and it showed me how many armies were there. And then I'd say, okay, I want to click that one. It would give me a list of 4, and I go, okay, I want to click C, and then it would do that, and I hit the dice, the simulated numbers would, and it would show you, and then it'd just keep going. And of course, my dad helped me with that, but now no graphics per se, like you didn't see a map or anything like that. It was just maybe the brain or the guts of it, and yeah, and of course I got an A on it, and that was fun. So much that I went to college. I was like, I want to be a computer programmer again, mind you, somebody that was not good at math, and by math I don't mean like adding, subtracting, division. I'm talking like geometry, algebra, trigonometry. I got to trigonometry, that was my highest, and then, yeah. Well, thanks, Pagan, but give credit where credit is due. My dad helped me a lot, so I'm sure I got stumped a lot, and I'm sure my dad helped me get past those um, hurdles. But the main thing was I was enjoying it so much I decided to go, and I took information science for business and did about a semester or two, and it just wasn't my thing. I saw the realization. I decided to go with my passion, what I really loved, and what was my gifting, and that was what I'm doing now: music, teaching, whatever. So there we go. So what's more impressive is my dad. My dad never had formal education past high school. He joined the Air Force, and they gave him all the training he needed. And he was just good with math, naturally. Oh, shoot. Put that wrong. So, I do remember one time, though, he brought a computer home that was damaged. And they said, if you can fix it, you can have it. So he brought it home. It was in our garage. And seriously, it looked like a freezer. Like, those grandma freezers it looked like a giant coffin. And it was just big, big, huge box. Had like a reel-to-reel tape and all this kind of stuff, whatever it was. I can't. And yeah, and he fixed it. And I can't even remember how much, not power, but how much memory and all that it had. But it was about the size that they probably stick in a little thing right here, right now. Data sets. Wow. Let's see. Data sets. Yeah, I quickly realized in college that it was not for me. Much respect for anybody that can do that stuff. Not moi. So if you're just joining a couple people, I'm just hanging, doing a little bit of work, getting ready for BBR tournament coming up, getting ready, finishing out some midway table customization so that on Monday, anybody who is there on Monday who didn't make the medal round, if they want to hang out for a couple hours and play HBG's midway game, they'll be ready to go. Interestingly enough, talking history, my dad was in radio and communications when he first got in the Air Force, and he was in Eastern Europe at the time, Iron Curtain, all that kind of stuff. He was stationed in just outside of Nuremberg, Germany, and he said that when the Sputnik in '57 when the Sputnik went in the air, he was actually on duty, and he heard, he had to listen to any radio waves, and he had to do Morse code kind of stuff, and he'd and kind of radio his superiors or whatever. It's any radio traffic that he heard coming from the Soviets, and he heard something, and he told his commanding officer, "What is this?" And they was like, "I don't know, something about a Sputnik," and they had no idea what that was. And now my dad wasn't like the only radio operator on at that time. He was just there at his certain area, battalion, or whatever wing. But yeah, he was actually on duty when the Soviets were launching the Sputnik. And I remember hearing all that radio wave. So it was kind of freaky. And they found that it was going to space, which is something that they couldn't have even imagined. Cool thing is, back in 2016, I got to go to Germany. My parents flew over to meet me there after my France trip. They met me in Frankfurt, and we actually went to this little town called Lauf. It's about 20 minutes east of Nuremberg, and that's where he was stationed in the 50s. And the village had not been bombed in World War II, and it was like it was a kind of a, not Gestapo, but it was a Secret Service spy, something, whatever. But we didn't know about it, so it was never bombed. So that village is still cobblestone streets and houses from like the 14th century, 13th century, untouched. So it was pretty cool to be there with him after hearing all those stories about that time of his life, and to be able to go there with him was pretty sweet. All right, let's do one. Hey guys, if you're joining us, just hanging out, doing a little bit of work on my midway table, getting ready for the BVR tournament coming this weekend. Just do this and chime on and just chat with people, answer any questions, and 2 people just popped off. So yeah, this is not very exciting. Watching me put stickers on chips, but nothing else. Get to hang, quote unquote, talk to some folks or read what they're writing. We need to do like a trivia night. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? World War II trivia night. Hand out prizes. I just now thought of that. That's a pretty good idea. Pop on World War II trivia night. Ask a few trivia questions. Hand out prizes. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, so I need to make 204, 205, and 206. Sorry. Hold on. I'm gonna get my label maker. All right. This is my handy dandy label maker. Let's put it here. Not that you care, but we'll turn it on. They have different color tapes. This is gold on clear. So I'm assuming it's keeping the same setting. We'll find out, right? 204, 205, 206. Print. Okay, let's see if that's the same. Is that the right size and font? Nope. It's slightly too big. So let's make it function. Whoops. Just 18. And then go to the width and make it. Nope. I think it's this. That's too small. I think it's in between. So the function, size, boom, do a 24. What you programming? That's right. We have a winner. Yep. All right, so we'll do that now. Man, Matt, I wish you were able to make the BBR. I know you were doing some home renovations, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember some pictures, I wonder if you're done with those. We're not quite done. We're going to get our master bath done. And after that, we're going to do carpet and paint. And as with all things, you get starting on a project and you realize, you know what? Man, now that front door looks kind of crappy. I need, then one thing adds to the next, one thing adds to the next. Next thing you know, you've built an entirely new home. Which, server data for buyer sales. Now that sounds like something I could not do. Although I am pretty excited that I'm pretty good at making spreadsheets, like in Apple numbers or Excel. I'm better in Apple, just because I know the format more. But yeah, man, making little spreadsheets. Actually, I need to show you. Yeah, raising kids, I hear you. I need to show you. Okay. Oh, I can't do it because I'm on my phone. And I think my iPad is up there charging and it's dead. But at the tournament, those of you guys coming, remind me to show you on my iPad. I made a sheet. Apple Pages, not Apple Pages, Apple Numbers, with a bunch of formulas. So basically, I have the nations, and I have it to where like you type in the amount of time that each side has, like if it's 5 hours, 5.5 hours, and then on Germany 1, now you'd have to use a stopwatch to find out how much time did Germany use on Germany 1. You type the number in, and it automatically figures out how much time you have left remaining and what the average time is per nation on your side that you have to do your turns to not run out of time. Kind of geeky and totally useless since Sired has an actual timer, because the timer will tell you how much time you have left on the timer. But I created that for the first tournament I went to because I thought, what if the timers aren't right? What if they don't work? And that way I could kind of use it to double check, whatever. And I never used it because you get so wrapped up in the game. You're trying to think of how to wiggle out of the situation you just put yourself in to where you, cabinets, refinishing floors. Nice. All right. So now the correction. So these chips will go under the green plane. A1 for the Akagi. Dive Bomber 206, 204, and 205. So, all right, I got the chips done. The giveaway. Now I just got to spray them with. Nope, I got to do this. Just got to spray them with varnish. I got to change out my sticker cartridge. And the cartridges tell you this is clear on, or white on clear, because yeah, the Akabi deep green was nice. Now check this out, Pagan. I found another green. I went to the hobby shop looking for something else, and I found this green. Now, you may not be able to tell it on the camera, but this green is the IJN, so Imperial Japanese Navy deep green. This green is the IJA, Imperial Japanese Army Deep Green. And you can't really tell the difference much here. It is admittedly subtle, but I actually like this a little bit better. So I decided for my own personal midway set, I made a few dive bombers in the Army Green. As you can see, I've got over here, and I'm going to add them as potential options. So if people just want to add a little color, we start adding color that's historically correct. And so yeah, and what I did, one of the hardest things when I was painting these planes was, or anything in general, you're like, if you're trying to historically match something, you're like, okay, what kind of green was that? And you kind of spray it like, that's kind of close. That's forest green. Well, that's close to forest green, whatever. And I was like, and I was at the hobby shop one day, and I saw all these models. I was like, hold on a second. They have model paint for these models. And so I went and I bought the actual model paint that they use for the Japanese plane models. So like, this is Imperial Japanese Gray that they use on the Imperial Japanese Gray planes. Same thing with this. This is Imperial Japanese Navy Deep Green that they actually use on some of their capes. So I figured if I bought the actual paints, and like even the table, I tried to find like a paint at Home Depot that had the blue that was kind of like the Dauntless blue at Midway. And I bought a couple cans, and they stunk. They were terrible. They were like light blue, baby blue. They looked terrible. And then I went there, and I was like, why don't I buy the actual intermediate blue that they use for the Dauntless Dive Bomber model kit? So that's why I got it. Now, the good news is it's a beautiful, perfect match. The bad news is they were $8.50 a can. And as opposed, and the cans are like this tall, as opposed to the big, tall, almost over twice, 2.5 times taller, Rust-Oleum that you can get at Home Depot for like $5-6. So I'd basically have to buy 2 to 3 cans of the $8.50 per can to match the 1 can of $6.50. So all that to say, this paint job on this table took 12 of those $8.50 cans. Yeah, so this is like a $150, whatever, $150 paint job. But I knew I was only going to make one table, and I had a vision. I wanted it to be the way I wanted it to be. And I was like, I'd rather spend a little bit more than I had anticipated and have it exactly the way I want than to be like, oh, I didn't spend much on it. But then it just, every time I look at it, it'd just be like, it's okay. So, whatever. All right. So, yeah, Pagan, this could be yours, man. Right here. These beautiful Japanese planes and chips. This could be yours if the price is right. And the price is victory. Actually, it's not a victory. The Cider does it differently. It used to be that you got tickets for every point you achieved. So the people who achieved more points in the tournament got more tickets and thusly won more prizes. But now it's just like if you go to the tournament, everybody gets the same amount of tickets, which I think is a great idea. That way everybody has an equal shot at winning anything. So that could be yours right there. It's like a nice little infomercial. All right. Now, let's do, I need VT3. Is that right? So I've got 3 bombers. So on one, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bombers. That VT3, there's plane 1, I need plane 2. VT3, plane 2. See if this is the right size. Nope. Too big. All right, let's do function. We'll do size. Let's make it smaller. Okay, let's try that again. Yikes. I think we got a winner. Let's go to the actual. Yep, got a winner. All right. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. If you're just joining, guys, I'm just kind of hanging, chilling, doing a little bit of work here before the BBR tournament. Just thought I'd hop on live and chat with some folks about just stuff. BBR. This is the midway game I'm kind of finishing out. I have it ready to play at the tournament. For those who might be interested. Pagan, have you played the midway game yet? Do you own it? Have you played at somebody else's house, or is anybody else? Matt? I'm not sure who all's on here. Um, the people that I know that own it and have played it, I know Hambone and Parker, his son. I know VK. I think VK played it. I think VK might own it actually. And I know Gelso, aka Moffett Field, aka War Table, aka stay tuned for his next name. He'll be changing shortly. Oh, okay, cool. Is the Admiral set the top set with all the custom pieces? I just don't remember what they're called. I bought the highest level that had all the custom sculpts, 3D sculpts. I just can't remember if it was the Admiral or Corporal or whatever, Private First Class set. I think it was the Admiral though. Ooh, ooh, no. Okay, I was messed up. Oh, I see what I did. I printed too many VB3 stickers. So I got VF3, 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 VB3, 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 VB3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a VT3. There we go. All right, cool. Good to know. And actually, I don't know if I can say this or not. Well, stay tuned for some cool stuff from Midway. Let's just put it that way. All I can say. Yeah, I think you would too, Matt. I'm not a game collector at all. Yeah, whatever. I've never considered myself a game collector. The only game I really ever played, I mean, everybody's played Monopoly and Shoots and Ladders or whatever when you're a kid, but the only game I really, as an adult, played was Axis and Allies. I didn't get into Catan, and I even stopped playing Risk once I really started when I was probably out of my teens, just because I like Axis and Allies better. So I've never considered myself a game collector and buy every single strategy war game that's out there. Again, ignore the evidence that you might see right here. But um, but yeah, this game just seemed too hard to pass up. Like I said, I probably would have never bought this game to even try it had Hambo not brought it out to VK's house in Oklahoma about a year ago. Um, a game I would like to try is Historical Board Gaming's, I think, 39 or 36. Um, I don't want to go and invest all that money to try it, but I know a lot of guys that have it, and if I was ever in a situation to be able to play it, I would definitely give it a whirl. I know Sky Marshall was on this video earlier. I know he has it. He's a big proponent of that. Um, so many people. General Hand Grenade, Hambone has it. I think Triple Crown has it. A lot of people, but I just never wanted to. I didn't want to spend that much money on it to try it. So, um, Yeah. What time is it? Ooh, it's 11 o'clock. Well, boys, I think I've done what I wanted to do. Tomorrow night, I will shoot these with some of that. After I get back from Sired's and the drawing, I'll shoot these with some of that matte varnish, so they're good to go for the giveaway. And then I'll do my valves, dive bombers, that will go with the Midway, my personal set. So those just look so wicked, man. I'm sorry. Oh, and the other thing, you may have saw in this video, I glued the torpedo bomb roundels. Hey, there's War Table, aka Gelso, aka Moffett Field, aka, yes, I'll start over right now because I'd hate for you to miss all of this. An hour and 16 minutes? Holy cow. Doesn't seem like that long. Yeah, I'm just kind of doing some work here. Actually, Gelso, this was your idea. I was giving props to you earlier, but I just completed. I've just been sitting here just kind of doing this work, shooting the bull, shooting the breeze, talking to guys, answering questions. But I just finished all my chips that you recommended to be part of the giveaway. So that'll be the U.S. set. And then, of course, here's the Japan set. And I decided to sweeten the pot a little bit and throw in one of the green planes as well as part of the set. Complete with some green chips to go with it. So you can thank Gelso, War Table, Moffett Field, aka whatever name he decides to be this week. And yeah, man, can't wait for you to see the table. And hopefully, I know you've had a lot of experience playing these the Midway game. Hopefully, my little customization part here won't be too much of a drag. But as I was telling them earlier, the plane number on the back doesn't matter. So, like, if this is the Akagi, if you have a dive bomber chip under a fighter, nobody's going to know and nobody's going to care. The main thing is to know that all A1s, right? All A1s are for the Akagi. So as long as you have an A1 chip under an A1 plane that goes to the Akagi, which is labeled right here, Akagi A1, you should be able to keep it figured out. So whether it's a 201 or a 301 or a 101 doesn't really matter. It won't affect anything. That's just me being a geek to know that, oh wow, I lost plane 103 in the battle. Whatever. Commando Fujito. So same thing with the United States. So just me geeking out. But planes are the eye candy. Yeah, honestly, if I could figure out a way to get rid of the chips and have only the planes, that would be sweet. But you would need bigger carrier decks. Like, I'd have to have a table like this big, if not bigger, and have carrier decks that are big enough to have, 6 dive bombers, 4 fighters, which I think you could probably do it in about a 8-inch carrier deck. And you could either do a wooden carrier deck, carved out or cut out like this. But just the concept of this table was a small, compact, folded up, put it away table, houses everything. That was the whole concept of this. But if I ever built a big table like this for Midway, which I won't, yeah, you could do big carrier decks and have actual individual planes. The only issue, yes, you did send me the solution. And actually, if you want me to, I can bring that to the tournament to where, if you prefer to play with that, you can, whatever. Um, uh, anyways, the thing would be like how to label these planes. Like how would I, without coloring the planes, certain colors like putting a purple tail. I thought about, these are just too small to put one red stripe or two, and even if you couldn't even see it to differentiate. I thought about maybe putting of course, this would not be historically accurate, but at least you would get to play with the sculpts. Um, put If one tail was red, that would be Yakagi. If two tails were red, that would be the Kaga. And same thing on the Soryu. If one tail was blue, Soryu. If two parts, both tail wings were blue, that would be the Hiryu. That's the only way I can think of denoting the planes to actually use the plane sculpts. But anyways, I'm already so far down this rabbit hole that I can't go back now, I guess. But I would suppose that this would help, right? Rather than every time you need to change out stuff, you have to go back and put in the coolant back. You just, oh, I want bombs now. Just do that. Oh, I want torpedoes. Oh, that's a good idea. KAS. Yeah, but for us folks that are, oh, you mean like on this wing or the tail? Because I mean, my eyes on there, it'd be hard to see. I mean, you could definitely put it on here. Yeah, that's true. You could do that. It wouldn't be historically accurate, but it'd let you get to play with the sculpts. So yeah. Oh, and check out this. I got my Navy done. I don't know if I showed anybody my Navy yet. Decaled, painted. So yeah, my Navy. The only thing with the decals, I didn't have the actual decal. Like I know some of them had just the big red meatball like this on the end here. I don't know. I couldn't find those, so I just used what I had. But yeah, at least you'll get the idea. Now that's a good idea. Flight stands disguise that hold the planes. That's yeah, as we talked about. I tried going down that road, and that's still something in my back of my mind. I bought a lot of supplies to make it happen, and it wasn't turning out the way I wanted it. So I kind of abandoned that. Plus, it was going to take me too long to get done for this. So thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Navy looks pretty good. I got those all spray painted with, or coated rather, with the matte varnish as well. And the matte varnish, what I'm learning. Ooh, what? Oh no, I got to do two more carriers. Three more carriers. Oh, just when I thought I was done with the Navy. It's never ending. It really is. And rather than use those stupid little convoy acrylics, I thought, how about an actual, well, for the transports, how about an actual transport? So, oh man. So, that's one of my old axes now, I transport. So, but I got to paint those up and put decals on the side. Dad nabbit. I thought I was done with all this. Again, it never ends. Okay, you can 3D print a base? Well, we're definitely going to be talking at the tournament. I got to come up with a cool name for you. War Table Moffett Field Gelso. So I'll have a cool name for you by the weekend. Because War Table, Gelso, and Moffett Field just aren't going to cut it. Anyways. Oh, man. Well, gents, I think it's about 11:30. I think I might hit the bed. No, you just have to play with it. Yeah. I have played before, just not with this. Yeah, wouldn't that stink to like play this and be like, I hate this game, but I know I don't because I have played it before. It's just been a while. But uh, from the first time I played the game, I instantly started my mind started rolling. And I thought about, man, wouldn't it be cool to have a custom table? And the first part of it was having carrier decks, the different levels, like upper deck, lower deck. And then it kind of just went from there. I knew I was going to add an inlay for the victory point tracker, like I did the BBR table. But anyways, All right, gents, good night. Peace. Hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. And if you're coming out to the tournament, have a great week. Safe travels. And we'll see you. Actually, we're going to see you tomorrow night. We're going to go live at Sired's for the drawing of game one matchups. As far as what time, 6-ish Eastern time. I don't get off work till 4:45 by the time I get here and load up the tables to take to his house, and get there and unload them, and it'll probably be around 6-ish. So, all right, man. Take care, guys. Enjoy it. It's only 9 o'clock there, or what, 8:30 in California land. So don't forget to plug in your cars and charge them. Don't forget to plug your cars and charge them. You want to make sure that you can drive tomorrow. All right?